Hey friends, imagine a world where your favorite tech innovations never existed, where electric cars are still some wild dream, and space travel is about as common as a visit to the moon by your next-door neighbor. Sounds crazy, right? Well, what if I told you that in this alternate universe, one of the most polarizing figures of our time, Elon Musk, never existed? Yeah, you heard me right. No Tesla, no SpaceX, no Neuralink, just poof, gone. I mean, it's hard to picture, especially when you consider how much he's shaped our modern world. So, grab your coffee because we're diving deep into what happens in this wild, alternate reality. Let's see how everything goes off the rails without him. All right, let's break down who Elon Musk really is, at least in our timeline. Born in South Africa in 1971, Musk is often hailed as a visionary entrepreneur. After moving to the US, he founded companies like Zip2 and PayPal, which were just the tip of the iceberg. Then came Tesla in 2003, pushing electric vehicles into the spotlight and making them sexy and desirable. You can't deny it, Musk's impact on the automotive industry is seismic. And let's not forget SpaceX, which has not only disrupted the aerospace industry, but also reignited interest in space travel for the everyday person like you and me. Plus, he's got this way of turning ambitious futuristic ideas into potential realities, like colonizing Mars or creating a high-speed Hyperloop transit system. But imagine if he just never happened. What if he never started Tesla or SpaceX? What if the name Elon Musk was just a footnote in a history book hitched to some obscure tech startup that fizzled out? It's a wild ride to think about, right? In this alternate universe, we're going to explore what it could mean not just for technology, but also for society, culture, politics, and even our planet's future. So buckle up, because we're about to take a trip through time and imagination. Okay, first off, the early effects. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of what happens when we erase Elon Musk from history. Starting back in the early 2000s, without Musk's involvement with PayPal, the immediate tech landscape would look a bit different. For instance, PayPal was instrumental in shaping how we think about online transactions and digital payments. Imagine a world without the seamless payment processing we often take for granted today. How many times have you simply clicked buy on an online store without a second thought? If Musk wasn't around, it's likely that PayPal would have been a different beast, possibly never evolving into the user-friendly platform we know today. Take a second to think about it. Without Musk sparking interest in online payments, we might not see the rapid growth of e-commerce that we've experienced. The rise of small businesses and entrepreneurs selling products online could have lagged significantly. A lesser PayPal means fewer successful tech startups. Maybe Shopify wouldn't even exist in its current form. Can you imagine a world where small businesses struggle to get online? I mean, half of Instagram would just be people posting pictures of their cat instead of selling artisan soaps or homemade jewelry. Fast forward to 2003. Tesla was founded in this alternate timeline, but it's headed by someone else. Perhaps there's no focus on electric vehicles because there's no one to push that vision. Without Musk's charismatic personality and relentless drive, electric vehicle awareness might be relegated to a small niche market, much like the electric cars of the late 90s. You remember those, right? Low speed, high frustration. If you wanted a car that didn't guzzle gas, you had to drive something that looked like it got lost on its way to the recycling yard. And let's face it, the 90s weren't exactly a time of thriving technological aesthetic, were they? And now, when we think of Tesla, it's not just a car company, it's a cultural phenomenon. Think about how many conversations you've had that turned into debates about the future of transport, climate change, and renewable energy, all sparked by Musk's influence. Without him, major companies like GM and Ford might slowly embrace electric vehicles, but it would be a lot less exciting, a lot less innovative. We'd probably be stuck in a world where gas-guzzling SUVs are still the king of the road, and going green is just an empty marketing slogan that comes and goes like fashion trends. In this alternate world, picture a scene where it's a sunny Sunday afternoon in your neighborhood. Families are out enjoying the day, but instead of Tesla Model 3s gliding silently by, you see a parade of old-school sedans and SUVs, all belching smoke and noise. And instead of parents feeling good about choosing electric, they're worried about gas prices, pondering when they'll finally upgrade to a hybrid, which might still be years away. The visibility of the electric vehicle movement as a bold choice has been effectively diminished, stifling the conversations around sustainability that have become so commonplace today. Then there's this wild thought. Without Musk, the entire narrative surrounding electric vehicles may never gain the public interest it has today. The EV market could remain stagnant, and the tech-savvy community that's grown around these innovations, whether it's enthusiasts promoting their electric road trips on social media or the countless forums discussing electric vehicle upgrades, would maybe just fade away into the background noise of market predictions. I mean, how different would conversations be if someone asked you about your car and you responded with, "Well, it's a reliable gas guzzler"? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Space exploration. Jumping ahead, let's talk about SpaceX and what it did for space exploration. Founded in 2002, SpaceX was all about disrupting the space industry, reducing costs, pushing humanity toward Mars, and let's not forget that whole reusable rocket. But without Elon Musk, there's no SpaceX. It's pretty wild to consider. Without SpaceX, NASA's trajectory would likely be way different. Sure, they'd still be working on their own projects, but they might remain stuck in the same old bureaucratic cycles of the past, like the Space Shuttle program, which was hailed as a triumph, but also criticized for its dated approach to space travel. The partnerships with private companies that SpaceX has cultivated, forget about it. It's all about the government contracting without the agile, innovative solutions that private enterprises can offer. You can practically feel the yawns echoing through the hallowed halls of NASA as they churn out underwhelming missions with traditional rockets. Imagine this. Instead of the spectacular Falcon 9 launches that have become a regular feature in our lives, we're left with less exciting missions that take decades to come to fruition. Instead of striving for Mars, the focus could still be on the moon. Maybe we'd be aiming for a permanent lunar base by 2030, but it would be a far cry from Musk's ambitious plans for a Martian colony by then. I'm just saying, the idea of humans colonizing Mars would feel like a plot point in a sci-fi novel rather than an impending reality. And then there's the impact on the entire aerospace industry. By 2023, we'd probably still be waiting for a competitive launch provider to emerge. Companies like Blue Origin and Rocket Lab might still be around, but they wouldn't have the same sense of urgency or innovation that came from competing with SpaceX. I mean, remember how much hype there was around the first crewed flight of the Crew Dragon spacecraft? All of that wouldn't exist. Just imagine the missed excitement of watching that launch. And let's take a moment to reflect on how that absence impacts not just technological benchmarks, but also the cultural zeitgeist. Picture this. Instead of seeing families sending their kids to schools inspired by STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs that dream of being future astronauts, we're left with the same tired rhetoric about the impossibility of reaching other worlds. The sheer excitement of upcoming Mars missions, capturing the imagination of children everywhere, is replaced by a dull sense of acceptance that space is just something we watch on TV or read about in books. You know, I can't help but think of science fiction movies and how they've presented ideas of space exploration over the years. Think about Interstellar or The Martian. How many people were inspired to pursue careers in science, engineering, and space travel just because those movies captured their imagination? Without Musk pushing the boundaries forward, we might be left to watch films imagining a far-off future without a tangible path to make those dreams a reality. The thrilling thought of sending humans to Mars becomes a distant fantasy instead of something we could be planning for. Now let's pivot a bit and consider renewable energy. You know, one of Musk's other big pushes through his company Solar City, now part of Tesla, of course, was that he promoted solar energy as essential for a sustainable future. But without Musk in the picture, would we be at the same critical crossroads regarding renewable energy in 2023? This is the part that always blows my mind. Chances are, without Musk's aggressive campaigning for sustainable energy, we could still be in a climate crisis. Electric vehicles might be slower to catch on, potentially delaying advancements in battery technology. With fewer big players pushing for solar, wind, and other renewables, the world could be stuck in a fossil fuel-heavy quagmire. This is where it gets a bit dark. Without the vision of someone like Musk, are we even on track to meet the Paris Agreement goals by 2030? It's hard to say. Picture this. In 2025, instead of cities filled with electric cars, it's congested with gasoline-powered vehicles, chugging out fumes like they're competing in a race to see who can generate the most smog. All those advancements in electric energy storage and solar panel efficiency, they could be lagging behind, leaving millions of homes still reliant on coal or oil. I mean, how do you think the planet would feel about that? Talk about a gloomy future. And let's not forget the cultural shift that Musk is often credited with inspiring. You'd probably still be seeing Save the Planet slogans, but without the tangible tech to back it up, it might just feel like a slogan stuck on reusable shopping bags. If Tesla and other electric vehicles didn't exist, how many people would genuinely feel optimistic about the future of our planet? For a lot of folks, the mere existence of companies pushing towards sustainability offers hope. Without Musk, we could see the return of skepticism dominating the conversation. Can we really save the Earth? Instead of, how can we save the Earth? Picture this world. Social media would still see activists posting about climate change, but without compelling innovations to champion, the focus might shift. Instead of life-changing technologies, we're circling back to basic conservation efforts, and the discussions may focus more on reducing plastic use than on advocating for innovative solutions. It's not that those topics don't matter. They do. But without Musk, the high-tech solutions that get people riled up and engaged don't exist. Therefore, we're left with a sense of stagnation in the movement for sustainability. The excitement around renewable energy could fade like a distant memory. So, while you might still hear passionate conversations about climate change at the dinner table, the general feeling could shift from urgency to resignation, with people thinking, well, it is what it is, rather than actively pushing for change. And now for something more societal, social media impact. The ripple effects don't stop there. Let's talk about social media, where Elon Musk seems to have just as much influence. Can you imagine Twitter, or X as it's now called, without the frequent presence of Musk? His tweets about Tesla, SpaceX, and various other ventures often create waves that ripple through entire stock markets. Without Elon, the platform might function differently, possibly even more like Facebook or Instagram, focused on social sharing rather than breaking news and real-time interaction with influential figures. Imagine a world where there's no Elon Musk tweets moment that sends stocks into a frenzy. We might see less volatility in markets as people stare at their phones, waiting for the next game-changing tweet. Now, think about this. Without Musk driving conversations through social media, other topics might have gained more traction. Maybe we'd see more viral moments fueled by influencers promoting climate change awareness, sustainability, and innovation instead. It's conceivable friendships might even shift toward more collaborative projects through social media platforms. But without Musk as a touchstone, would they ever gain enough traction to be impactful? Picture Twitter as a place where only your great-aunt shares cat memes instead of real-time updates on launches or groundbreaking tech innovations. It's a great way to connect, but lacks the energy and excitement it has when icons like Elon are driving conversations. Imagine scrolling through your feed and seeing a post that reads, "Today's stock news, nothing of interest." Like, where's the fun in that? The vibrancy and wide-ranging conversation that so often surrounds tech and innovation just isn't there. Instead, we might be trending toward more mundane social topics, where everyone debates the best way to boil an egg, and, did you see my brunch? So how does this all affect the world today? Fast forward to 2025. What does this alternate universe look like? The tech landscape is noticeably less vibrant. You'd probably still be seeing gas-powered cars dominating the highways, and the electric vehicle revolution is at least a decade behind. Can you imagine sitting in traffic surrounded by fossil fuel guzzlers while the air quality monitor on your phone reads "Danger Zone"? No thank you. Not exactly an optimistic scenario. Instead of Tesla's charging stations lighting up roads and bringing renewable energy into the mainstream, maybe we've got gas stations on every corner, creeping back into the dominance that they once had before the electric vehicle revolution. Urban centers might still be grappling with smog and pollution, and our discussions about climate change would be more encompassing but less urgent. And when it comes to pop culture, the latest must-see documentary might not even touch on the space race, instead focusing on the latest Marvel superhero saga. Because, let's face it, everyone loves superheroes more than serious topics about our future. Imagine scrolling through your favorite streaming site and seeing Mars, the journey that never was, instead of some Elon-centric movie. Instead of a blockbuster that gets everyone hyped about humanity's journey to another planet, we might just have a few choose-your-own-adventure narratives, but none really pushing boundaries or asking you to dream big. As we close out our wild journey through the what-if of an Elon-less universe, it's pretty wild to reflect on how one person's vision can ripple across industries and social norms. The tech world, our environmental futures, and even how we interact every day, it's all been touched by Musk in one way or another. So what do you think? How would you feel living in a world without all those innovations? Who knows, maybe you have someone else who you think should be erased from history next. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating alternate history explorations. Until next time, keep questioning your reality and dreaming big. Catch you later.